Hello and welcome back. I am Tatum and this is Tatum Marie Yoga, and today we are going into tabletop for variations and just overall cueing for our tabletop. So I just have a blanket today, so go ahead, grab whatever else you need or your blanket and I will meet you on the mat. So tabletop is pretty straightforward, but there are some different things, especially if you have sensitive wrists, that we can work on. Now, I already went over this in downward facing dog, but I'll go over it again today. Like I said in a couple other episodes, I always usually have a blanket in my personal practice, and I highly recommend you keeping at least a blanket handy at any point in time if you have sensitive knees or you just want to use it for a variation. It's always great to have around. So in our tabletop position, we're going to take our knees out wide, and they're going to be hip width distance. Now, if you're not familiar with hip width distance, let's just take two fists and put them in between our knees here, and that'll be our hip width distance. Then we're going to walk our hands out and bring them right underneath our shoulders. So this is our tabletop. Now, sometimes we're here, almost in this cow-like posture. So my shoulders are dipping down towards the earth, and this doesn't feel good in my neck or in my chest or in my low back. So I'm gonna press through my shoulders, lifting my chest up out of that slump up top, and then pull my low belly in, tucking my tailbone slightly. So my spine is flat and lengthening, and taking my gaze right down to the floor in between my hands. Now, you've probably, if you've watched the other videos, notice we talk a lot about spinal lengthening, and in almost every posture that I can think of, you are lengthening your spine. So really pulling that low belly in, lengthening through your spine, so out through your tailbone and through the top of your head, or like one long plumb line here. So this is option one for our tabletop position with the blanket underneath our knees. Now I'm going to keep the blanket underneath my knees here. So a lot of times this angle here in our tabletop position, this 90-degree angle in our wrist, does not feel good. I would recommend maybe, if this feels okay, make some fists. So you have a straight arm here down into your hand. And bring this wrist and your fist right underneath your shoulders, and still that same action of pressing through your knuckles, lifting up out of your shoulders so you're not slumped or hunched forward here, pulling that low belly in. Now, if this isn't your jam, I totally get it. I'm going to release my hands, say my wrists still hurt. I'm going to walk my hands one palm's length or one hand's length out, as if I were getting ready for my downward facing dog. So that reduces a little bit of tension in my wrist, and I can really focus in on pressing firmly through my palms, so my palms aren't cupping. So we're not like making any cupping motion. We're pressing our palms firmly into our mat. Our fingertips don't have to be spread really super wide. They just wherever feels comfortable, and reducing the stress on your wrists here. Now, low belly is pulling in and pulling my shoulders back and down, so I'm not slumping in down towards the earth, and really creating a lot of tension in my spine. So I'm really pressing through my hands here. I'm going to try to keep my hips over my knees as well, as best as I can. My gaze is right down towards the floor. So say this is your downward facing dog. This is your go-to pose, or you're doing a lot of tabletop work and it doesn't feel good. So this is option number 4. We're going to come on down to our forearms here and just take our gaze right in between our knees. And this can be a resting pose. It's almost like a child's pose, but an active child's pose in a way. with our hips up towards the sky. And this will reduce the tension on our wrists. And our elbows are gonna be shoulder width distance here. So we're kind of hugging everything in. Still, you can still make this pretty active, pressing through your elbows, lifting up out of your shoulders, taking your gaze right in between your legs here. So you can always take this. You can even bring your hands together at the top to press through your knuckles if you'd like. Whatever's gonna feel best. But this can be your resting pose here until you can make your way back into your tabletop of your choice. That's all I have for today on our tabletop position. Please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out. Leave me a comment below and check out the blog. And I will see you next time. It's always an honor. Namaste.